I'm going to show you how to make a tiny, weeny little methylated spirits fueled burner to warm up a cup of coffee. 1 mug of water. So, what you're going to need is obviously methylated spirits, or I think in the States they call this alcohol. And to make it, you're going to need 1 Coke can or a similar can with some thin tin and 2 tea lights. So, first of all, we take the tea light out of the case. We get this little very thin aluminium casing. Get rid of the candle. 2 of those. Then we're going to take these, and what we want to do is put 8 grooves around the outside. So I'm going to nip it between a thumb and finger and just put a little score line down it with the fingernail, like this. You see that? Now I'm going to do that, cut it in half first, so I'm going to just divide that into 8 equal ones. First of all, 1, 2, quarter it, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got that. Let's put these 8 little grooves in it. Now I'm going to widen those a little bit. I'm going right to the top and pressing them in. Right to the top. Okay, so now we've got this shape. Make them a little bit more nipped in, like that. So it's going in a little bit further still. Then that should just squeeze. Be careful not to crush it all together. That should fit inside the other. We don't want this to go right into the bottom of that. We want it to stand so that it's just wedged in, so that it's holding up the top a little bit. So what we're going to do is take the Coke can and mark the depth of that, where, so it's in enough to keep it in. It's not going to pop out too easily. It's in about 3 mil or something. Done that quite right. So I'd say that's about 18 millimeters. It's got those little scratches on there. Ignore the one in the middle. Now I'm going to I'll mark it around with my thumb and finger, just roughly, keeping my finger on the end. And the same for the other mark. So I've scored it around very roughly. Now I'm just going to cut that out. Some of you might be screaming that I'll ruin my knife, but it's only very thin aluminium, and obviously it's all very sharp, but I've got fingers like leather, so I'm okay.
So around we go. Get off this way.
go. Cut that into a full strip. So now I've got myself a strip of tin. Messed up a bit there, so I'm just going to cut that off. It's not too bad. Now I'm going to cut about a penny-sized hole in the top. So there's already a circle there. I'm going to cut that circle out in the middle. Turning it upside down, I'm just going to do that by perforating it with the knife, just going round, and obviously doing this against a flat surface, I'm not going to deform it. There we go. Push that out. So I've got my little hole in the top. I want to just make sure this top's flat, because that's where my coffee cup's going to sit, and I don't want the alcohol to be able to, the vapour to come across there. I want it to be sealed on the top and the bottom of the mug. You could use the end of something if you want, just to scrape it around and flatten it against that surface. So there we go. That's all flattened down. Curl that up, put that inside. Bada bing, bada bum. On goes the top, bottom rather. There's always one, and that's it. So now you can see around the edge we've got these little holes, and that's where the alcohol is going to come out and burn. I want to make sure they're all open reasonably enough, so that one's just a little bit too closed. Open that a bit. Okay, that's pretty good. There we have it. So now I've got the bottom of the Coke can. I'm going to use that. I normally do this in the fire pit, because if the meth spills, you need to be careful. It will set fire immediately. So I've got another nightlight can here, which I can use to measure the amount of fuel it can take. Obviously you don't want to fill it beyond this point or it will pour out. So I'm going to fill this little nightlight case up, nearly, not quite, but enough. That'll do. So I'm just about full there. Pour that in the top with my left hand. Get that level. Now to prime it, gonna just light this top center hole. That still has a bit of meth across the top, which help it prime. That might just take a little moment. Sometimes it takes a couple of tries. So I'd say just cut that central hole a little bit bigger than I did then. Once the methylated spirits has warmed up and it starts vaporizing properly, we'll be able to, there's a little breeze here, so I'm just stopping it getting blown out. Once the methylated spirit has warmed up a bit, it'll start burning properly. Let's give it a try around the edge, see if it lights. Not quite. Now we're off. So just wait until that flame goes all the way around. We're off. Oh, let's put our mug on there. Now I've got this little can which happens to be the same size as my mug, which I'm going to use as a lid just to help it along a little bit. And we'll see how long this takes.
Lydia, oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? She has eyes that men adore so, and a torso even more so. Lydia, oh Lydia, that encyclopedia. Lydia, the queen of tattoo. On her back is the battle of Waterloo. Beside it the wreck of the Hesperus too. And proudly above waves the red, white, and blue. You can learn a lot from Lydia. La 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 la. When a robe is unfurled, she will show you the world. If you step up and tell her where. For a dime you can see Kankakee or Paris or Washington crossing the Delaware. Oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? Lydia the tattooed lady. When her muscles start relaxing, up the hill comes Andrew Jackson. That encyclopedia, Lydia the queen of tattoo. For 2 bits she will do on the zigzag and jazz, with a view of Niagara that nobody has. And on a clear day you can see Alcatraz. You can learn a lot from Lydia. La 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 la. Come along and see Buffalo Bill with his class. Just a little classic by Mendel Picasso. His Captain Spaulding exploring the Amazon. His Godiva but with her pajamas on. La 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 la. Oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia? Lydia, the queen of them all. She once swept an admiral clear off his feet. The ships on her hips made his heart skip a beat. And now the old boy's in command of the fleet. For he went and married Lydia. I said Lydia. He said Lydia. I said Lydia. He said Lydia. Olé!
and we're boiling. So, not long at all. Now to put it out, you definitely don't want to try and blow it out. So what we're going to do is take the mug off. Can I touch that? It's a little bit hot. Use a glove. That's boiling a treat. So I can make my coffee there. And I'm going to take this can and put that over the top. And there we are, we're out. And I've still got about 3 millimeters of methylated spirits in there. There you go. I made that to stop me burning too much wood in my stove, because I was burning, it's getting dark, I was burning all my wood making my morning coffee. So I wanted a way to make a cup of coffee without having to light my stove. And that little fellow is the solution. Peace and love.